Welcome to Talking About Watches with MrWatchMaster. I'm Andrew Cantor, co-founder and editor-in-chief of MrWatchMaster.com. In these podcasts, we're going to talk to amazing people in the watch world and discover some fascinating facts about them, their collections, and what they love about watches. In this episode, I speak with Guy Blaskey, founder of D-Trash Watches. Guy is an award-winning, creatively driven entrepreneur and lover of all things brand, marketing, and health. He takes us on a fascinating journey from advertising to guerrilla marketing via his pet food business, Pooch and Mutt, before setting up D-Trash Watches in 2024. His main goal is to make trash desirable. Let's hear what he had to say.
So, hi, I'm Guy. I'm the founder of D-Trash. I launched D-Trash it's coming up to 2 years now, 2 years ago. About 18 years ago, so I came out of the advertising and marketing world. The reason I came out of it is partially I'm a terrible employee, so I kind of need to work for myself. Which is a common trait in entrepreneurs. And I read an article about the founder of Red Bull, who was a marketing person, who basically said, I need to market my own products, not other people's, so started Red Bull. I read that youngly and arrogantly, thought I need to start my own company. I ended up starting a dog health supplement company, and which turned into a dog food company, which is now last accounts is doing like 45 million a year. It's one of the bigger dog food companies in the UK. Is one of the most successful e-commerce pet food companies across Europe, and all with my team in running it, which is great. But I sold my shares over 3 years, finishing in kind of 2024, and then did a bit of an earn out. And as people do, I went to buy myself a watch to mark people quite often buy a watch to mark an occasion.
Absolutely.
And I was traveling out to my last board meeting that I was going to attend. And I went to look at watches, went to buy a watch at the airport. I ended up buying a bronze IWC. But it got me looking at the watch industry. And I work in dog food, but basically I work with lots of other companies that sell to supermarkets. And when you look at supermarkets and kind of look across the rest of the world and the rest of the categories, there is always an ethical brand that's challenging the norm and doing really well. Whether that's kind of Tony's Chocolonely versus Dairy Milk, or it's Method versus Flash, or like Patagonia, or even Sun God. And I was like, where's this in the watch world? Watches are way better for effectively virtue signaling. If you look at somewhere like Tom's, brand like Tom's, which is quite a lot about virtue signaling, watches are a much better way to get across your personality and say who you are than a chocolate bar like Tony's. Sure. And actually sourcing is arguably easier because you don't have to worry about people eating it and dying. And I do some mentoring with some pro bono mentoring with kids at Imperial College. I'm sure we shouldn't say kids; they're like mid-20s. And I was working with kind of an eco materials company, and I found that there were lots of incredible eco materials in the world. They're generally made by material science companies who aren't very good at making final products and selling them, but they're great at making products. So I had this idea that I wanted to create a company to highlight better products, better practices, and put it into categories like watches where it isn't being used. And that's kind of where D-Trash was born. It kind of, I hate founder stories of like, I just couldn't find the product that I wanted, so I had to make it. But
it was kind of like,
and it's not like, and it's not, people have this debate with me often of like, well, surely it's more eco-friendly to buy a vintage watch, for example, because it's already been made. And the watch industry says that. And that's very much not the point. of
Mm,
D-Trash. It's more about highlighting, we're using like a leather made from beer waste,
yeah.
um, or using ocean plastic, or
Mm,
specifying that the steel we use has to be at least 80% recycled. And the point is that everyone can do that across every industry, so that when we start talking about it, other people can put that into whatever they're doing in their jobs, whatever they're buying, and
mm.
create kind of a tidal wave of lots of little things that will hopefully make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Fascinating. So, how is business?
It's good. It's funny. It's not as seasonal, but it's very up and down.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
no one buys watches in January. Is what I found out. I
yeah,
mean, you may
yeah,
have, Christmas is good, November's good,
yeah.
January was awful,
Right.
but not kind of unexpectedly.
No, it's the same for
Uh,
everyone, though, isn't it?
yeah,
Pretty much.
Feb not great, March, April really good.
Hmm.
Um, so it's yeah, it's those are the things that you kind of learn the longer you spend in it.
Yeah. So, what are your
Um,
current priorities for business at the moment?
oh, that's a good question. Um, I mean, it says on the back of every watch, "Have fun, do good." So those are the priorities. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, just to have a bit of fun. I think watchers, at the risk of alienating your audience, people can take watches a bit too seriously. Um,
Some people do, but I think that's what it's all about. I think that's the fun in collecting. That's the fun in having a passion, I guess, isn't it? And different watches
yeah,
mean different things to different people. So I think
exactly.
that's the beauty of it.
And I think and it's almost like not the game we're playing. People will talk to us about kind of beats per minutes and hairsprings and things like
Mm,
that. And that's kind
mm,
of,
mm.
we're more about the materials, more about the sourcing, more about the production, more about the message,
Yeah.
and also more about the design.
Mm.
Like, um, I met the guys at the watch fair. I met the guys from Roger Smith,
Yeah.
um, and they said something to me like, "Well, we're both doing the same. We're both making watches." And it's like,
Mm.
we're not.
No,
We're
no,
not doing the
no,
same.
not at
Like,
all.
there's nothing
Did they say
similar.
that or did you say that?
No, they said it. They said to me,
Oh,
we're
wow.
in the same
I'd take that as
industry.
a
We're doing the
compliment.
same."
I'd take that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely take it as a compliment. But you know, we couldn't be more
But I
different.
think that's good. That's what
And full
that's the
and with
community.
absolute full respect to
Yeah,
them.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Absolute. I kind of, I have a bit of a thing against some high end watches that I think are kind of demonstrative and a rip
Hmm.
off, and
Hmm.
like,
Hmm.
should you be wearing something that's the cost of a small house on your wrist?
Hmm.
Um, but that's more kind of ended up aimed at the Richard Mill area
Sure.
than I
No, I
think
get that.
like like what Roger Smith's doing with kind of keeping the craftsmanship alive.
Hmm.
Um, I think is fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. So look, you've told us a lot about D-Trash, but tell us something we don't know about the D-Trash watches.
Something. I mean, I would say I'm an open book. See, one thing that is new is I had my first kind of spotted out in the wild yesterday when someone who actually bought two watches from me randomly came up to me in a restaurant to chat to me about them.
All right.
Um, and it happened. My wife has quite a big podcast and has had a best-selling book, so
All right.
it happened to her a few times. So when someone comes over, expect it to be for her. But yeah, first time celeb spotted in the wild yesterday, which is lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, it must be very, very fulfilling when that happens. Okay, so look, let's
Yeah,
get on to the watches that you wear. You said you had the IWC you bought. I mean, do you wear that? Is it yeah, every day? Or obviously you're going to wear the D-Trash, I would imagine, but what
I
do you wear?
do you know what? It's one of my, I wouldn't say regrets, but since starting D Trash, I only wear my I only wear my D
You
Trash
only wear that.
watches,
Mm.
or I wear a Garmin when I'm kind of running and cycling.
Right, right.
Um, and I'm going to put it out there because I'd love to do a collab with Garmin. It's kind
Okay,
of one of the ambitions of D Trash is I really want to do a collab with Garmin.
right, right.
Um,
Why?
I
Why is
do
that?
have
Why them?
um, because I like the idea of D-Trash offering a fitness watch, like a smartwatch fitness
Right.
watch, and there's no way on earth that, I mean, not no way on earth, but I don't have the time or energy or resources to compete with what Garmin offers
Sure.
in terms of infrastructure and technology.
Mm.
But I think I could offer something to kind of the design and materials to side.
Yeah.
Um, same as with the watches that we
Yeah. Yeah.
wear. I mean, you've got
Sure.
Seiko movements or citizen movements in
Hmm.
them. I'm not looking to develop a movement. I'm looking
No.
to kind of design the watch. And Garmin has the best insides in the same way that Seiko has great insides.
Yeah. True.
So I'd love to do that.
Okay.
Um, but I do have, but my collection of watches that I no longer wear are, I've got a Rolex OP that I've had since I was about 13 that is on a leather strap, so it looks like an heirloom that's been handed down,
Nice.
um, which I really like.
Yeah.
It's like 38 mil. It's old on 38 mil. Although it was serviced about 8 years ago. It was serviced, and they polished it, which I'm
Oh.
really gutted about.
Oh.
Um,
You need the original
um,
patina. Oh dear.
yeah, and they polished the strap, and it was so, it had
Oh
like
yeah.
20 years of wear in it.
Oh. Mm.
And it came back, and I just didn't know that that was a thing to ask
Mm.
for. Um, I I've got my IWC, my bronze IWC, which is patinaed really nicely. That
Yeah.
I put on an FKM rubber strap, which looks really nice. It's bronze one with the blue
Yeah.
face, with a chrono. I've got an old Tag 200 somewhere, which was like from when I was a kid, which is nice. Um, and I've got Cartier Pasha that I've never worn.
All
It was
right.
a 18th gift
Wow.
that I am I'm waiting for them to become cool again.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I
it
mean,
feels like,
the Santas has sort of had its, has come back, hasn't it? So maybe the Passion
well,
will
no,
do the
my
same.
hope is that like every other watch that Gerald Genta has designed
Yeah.
has become like iconic and
Iconic.
collectible,
Yeah. Yeah.
except the one that I own,
Yeah.
um, which I'm a bit gutted about.
Cool.
Um, so yeah, I'd love that to become popular and I could sell it.
Yeah, no, that'll be good. So, okay, well, let's talk about those the Grail watches. Which what would you like to own? I mean, you mentioned Roger Smith. I mean, who wouldn't want a Roger Smith? But it's not everyone's taste, is it?
I mean, which watch would I like to own? Not that bothered. I'm
Right.
honestly not. Like I
Definitely not
love like a
not definitely not a Richard Mille though.
no. No, I don't get it. Honestly, don't get it. And I don't. I, you know, I like a bright orange Casio F91 as much as I like a Richard. Well, no more than I like a
Yeah.
Richard Mille. Um, I like to buy a watch. I mean, I think the one that we sent you to look at
Hmm.
is um, it's based on the Memovox
Yeah.
on the old Memovox, which I love.
Yeah.
Um, I bought years and years ago. I bought this incredible, what I thought was incredible on eBay, vintage Doctor's Edition Breitling Top Time with the heart rate,
Oh,
the
right.
heart
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
from like the 60s, and I sent it to Breitling for authentication, and they kind of went, it's like they're all Breitling parts, but they're not kind of from one watch.
Oh, really?
Um,
Oh dear.
so I sent it
A
back.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, and it was.
Oh, it's a
In
shame.
hindsight, I slightly wish I kept it because it was
Hmm.
gorgeous. And then when they re-released the Top Time, they
Yeah.
made it like 5 times too chunky,
Yeah.
um,
I agree.
which I think a bit. Which yeah, the old one, the old vintage one was lovely, and the
Mm,
new one
mm,
is
yeah.
just not.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, I
yeah,
tend to err towards the vintage world rather than, the brand new because I just think there's so much. They look better. They're made better. I think. And I mean, for me, the beauty's on the inside. Obviously, you open the watch and the movement is just, particularly with the older watches as well. They're just fabulous.
I mean that's kind of part of where we started D-Trash from as well is because
Mm.
I like the look of a vintage watch, but I can't look after nice things that well. Uh, you know, I
Yeah.
need a watch that I
Yes.
can knock and drop and
Yeah, knock about. Absolutely.
um, which is probably why I'm not that bothered. I don't kind of have like a Grail watch that I'd really
Mm.
like.
Mm.
I mean, I love like, if someone said you had to spend a lot of money on a watch,
Mm.
I'd probably go for like a Vacheron
Yeah.
222 or
Yeah.
overseas because I actually really like the re-edition. Is it the 222 because
Mm.
it's pretty faithful to the vintage and it's quite understated. Um, I really like that watch,
Yeah.
um, but I'd never wear it.
Yeah, but owning it, I suppose, is part of the joy, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I saw Ryan Reynolds was pictured in a Roger Smith the other
Oh,
day,
was he?
which is pretty amazing.
Interesting.
But I don't think I've ever seen one in the wild. I can't imagine. Like, if I had one, I'd want
Mm.
to bubble wrap my arm.
Yeah.
'Cause-
I've seen a few, and they are incredible. They are incredible. Anyway, look, let's get on to talk about the business and talk about the watch business. So, what do you like best about the watch business?
So what I like best about the watch business is, unlike my old business in dog food. If you
Very different.
imagine, the similarities are incredible.
Really?
Actually, it's nuts. Um, it's really interesting. So the similarities are incredible because when I was in dog food kind of 15 years ago when I launched, it was very much there were about 10, 15 upcoming British brands and the big multinationals, which is kind of exactly where
Mm,
watches are now.
yeah,
It's
the
quite
big group.
interesting. And
Yeah.
those kind of 15, 20 brands, the British brands, 4 or 5 did really well. And I can see exactly the same thing happening. And also, similarly to dog food, there's a real niche of enthusiasts, like the people who go to Crufts, which are the same people that,
Mm,
not the same, but like the people that go to watch shows,
yeah.
that are, 90% of the kind of consumption of information about it, but about 10% of the sales.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
Most people just get a watch and don't really care
Yeah.
about it. So it's really similar.
Mm,
But the big difference, which is something I really like, is if you're feeding your dog my dog food, you're
yeah.
not feeding it someone else's dog food.
Yeah.
Um, so there's a lot of bitchiness and a lot of complaining. And what I actually really like about watches is, you know, somebody who is buying a D-Trash watch is more likely to also be buying kind of a Fears watch and a Studio Underdog
Yeah.
watch,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and a Marlowe watch or a Bamford watch. Like,
Mm,
so it's there's no there's none of that kind of competitive element almost,
mm.
because people are kind of collecting and
Yeah.
rather than using, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
I
there's
think that's one of the biggest changes, isn't it? It's particularly with British Watchmakers Day, where everyone gets together and obviously there's special editions that are made and there's queues around the block and people want to get them and I think that's a good thing because as you say, you don't buy one at the exclusion of another. It's generally you put together that, a collection of those watches and they all have a different story, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, and there's just no, and even between the companies, I mean, you can see how much people collaborate
Mm,
as well. But between the companies, in dog food, you would literally have companies that have they go around to shops with Excel spreadsheets. If ours has this, they don't have that.
okay.
List all
Right,
the other
yeah, yeah,
brands and what they have.
yeah.
Whereas that's not really,
Mm,
it's not my watch is better than
no.
this watch. This watch is better than this watch. It's just this is what we like. This is what
Mm,
it looks like. And actually, when you put them on paper,
yeah.
you know, of what's got an automatic movement, what's got sapphire crystal,
Hmm.
what's got X amount of water resistance, there's not a
Yeah.
lot between
Not really.
most of them.
So, is there anything you don't like about the watch business?
Um, is there anything I don't like? I mean, I think the watch business itself needs to change. I wouldn't say that I don't like it because I think it's a
Mm.
massive opportunity.
Sure. But
I think it's a huge opportunity.
what needs to change?
Um, well, I think it's very much happening with kind of smaller brands taking on the larger brands, smaller brands being a lot more nimble
Hmm.
and developing kind of more exciting. Like I think a lot of watches are boring.
Right.
So I think that side of it needs to change. I think obviously the environmental side of it needs to change. Like we are, I am doing what I am doing so that other people go, why are we using virgin steel in our watches? Why aren't we using
Yeah.
recycled steel? Like that's the reason for doing it and to
Hmm.
push change. And also, there's just some ridiculous, if you look at Patek,
Mm.
where, Patek actually comes in and people prize a really tiny box that's the same size as our box,
Yeah.
that's really minimal and has nothing to it. But when you buy it, you get this massive, like, bit of mahogany
Yeah.
that's made somewhere, shipped somewhere, sent to a store, then goes to someone's house and gets put in the back of a cupboard while the watch goes in a safe, and they prize the little kind of mauvey box that it comes in, or burgundy. It's probably burgundy box that it comes in, and it's like that's just like what a ridiculous waste of kind of resources,
Mm.
energy,
Mm.
transport, fuel,
Yeah.
emissions
Yeah. Mm.
for something that is never at any point used
Mm.
by anyone.
Mm. Mm. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I think the whole display boxes, the whole world of display boxes,
Mm.
um, is is just ridiculous.
Mm.
So I would change that immediately in the
Yeah.
watch world if I could. Um, and yeah, I think it's very easy to put better environmental practices in.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully the other companies have said similar things, but D-Trash should theoretically go bankrupt because everyone goes, why aren't we using these materials? Why aren't we
Mm.
being
Mm.
eco-friendly? Everyone changes how they operate.
Yeah.
We have absolutely no point of difference, so we go bust.
Sure.
And that in itself would be a huge success.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
if I could change the world to that degree
Yeah.
and lose a bit of money on D-Trash, I'll be more than happy.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so let's wrap it up in terms of looking at what's next on the horizon for you.
Um, well, we're looking at some interesting materials. One that I've mentioned in another interview that I just can't see how I'm going to make it happen. So you've heard of Fordite, I
Yeah.
assume.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's another material which is called surfite, which is made from so when people are kind of fiberglassing surfboards, you get a
Okay.
similar thing to Fordite.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I found some surfboard manufacturers in Cornwall, and they're like, we've got tons of this.
Right. Because you're down in
But
Devon,
it's
aren't you? You're in Devon, are you? Or
no in Poole.
oh, Paul. Sorry. Yeah.
Uh, which is also the home of Elliot Brown,
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Night Watches. It's like Norcane are down here,
All
which I didn't
right.
know. It's nuts. There's a
Yeah.
little watch community down here. Yeah, so that's one material we're looking at. I want to do a chrono, but
Mm.
automatic chrono movements are really expensive,
Mm.
and I hate ticking.
Right.
So I might do a solar chrono, but I hate the sound of ticking, so I've got to
Mm.
work out how to do that.
Right.
Um, that's why a lot of watches are automatic because
So how different? Because Fordite is the that's the waste from a Ford paint factory, isn't it? Well, where
yeah,
they do the
Ford paint,
car. So there's beautiful. What does Surfite look like? Is it similar to Fordite,
yeah,
or
really similar,
is it? So very
really similar.
colourful, lots of
Yeah,
different, yeah, all unique
yeah,
patterns and
yeah. So it's just getting it from where it is,
yeah.
and also we're looking at other categories. I mean, the whole
Hmm.
point of um, this is probably not great content for MrWatchMaster, but the whole point is to highlight materials that could be used in industries.
Hmm.
And I found this. I'm a I'm a runner. I've just done an Ironman, so I'm a runner, a cyclist, and
All right,
fitness is really.
wonderful.
Um, so I found this material, which is again made from waste plastic, along with BCI cotton, which is a special cotton, better cotton initiative, which makes really good kind of running clothing and workout clothing. So I think there's potentially we might move into running clothing or also golf clothing because it's really good for golf.
Yeah.
So there's other kind of, and the way that I look at it is, I think most companies are, watch companies or watch people, or running companies or running people, workout players, workout people, golf. But we're people. People play golf and go to the gym and wear a watch.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, you can be one person that does all of those. So there's other categories that we're looking at which are quite exciting.
Sounds interesting.
And what you'll appreciate is so all the design work is done by me. Everything is done by me.
Right.
And the same thing I did at my old company. And at some point, I kind of brought in some other people to help. And I have an idea of what I want our logo to develop to and our brand to develop to. So we're looking at kind of a brand process that should come to light next year as well.
Wow, sounds amazing. It's that journey, isn't it? You're going on that journey, and it's fascinating. So
yeah, and it's a lovely world to be in.
It really is.
And it's interesting. There's not many kind of D2C watch companies, but it kind of works. I love that I get a little. My daughters love hearing the little cha-ching when I get a sale on my phone, and
Great.
I store everything at my house, ship them out from home. It's kind of I used to have about 4,000 pallets of stock at any one time at my old company. So going from that to having a cupboard full of watches is a lovely relief.
Exactly. A lot less storage.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that's been great, Guy. I've really enjoyed our conversation, and I wish you luck with everything you're doing in the future, and we'll keep in touch. So thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Talking About Watches with Mr. Watchmaster. I really hoped you enjoyed this episode. For more information and great stories about watches and the people behind them, please visit www.mrwatchmaster.com. I look forward to hearing from you soon, and hope you enjoy the next podcast which is coming up.